Okay, so don't make fun of me, but I spent all the money I just made on new copies of FNAF 1, and now I can't afford to pay my bills. Hey everybody, it's Luigi here, and welcome to my Let's Play of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. Funnily enough, this game was released 87 days after the original. This Let's Play was not. Alright, let's just get right into it. Oh man, I'm so excited to close those doors again. Help wanted, grand reopening, vintage pizzeria given new life. Come be a part of the new face of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. What could go wrong? $100.50 a week. To apply, call 1-888-FAZ-FAZBEAR. Now, just like last time, the phone number was changed with an update. I can't really be sure why, as it's way too long to be a real phone number. Oh, and yes, the blurred text on the side of the screen is the exact same as the one from the first game, so go see the first series if you want to hear me read it out.
Hello and welcome to your new summer job at the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. I'm here to talk you through some of the things you can expect to see during your first week here and to help you get started down this new and exciting career path. Now, I want you to forget anything you may have heard about the old location, you know. Some people still have a somewhat negative impression of the company. That old restaurant was kind of left to rot for quite a while, but I want to reassure you, Fazbear Entertainment is committed to family fun and above all, safety. They've spent a small fortune on these new animatronics. Facial recognition, advanced mobility, they even let them walk around during the day. Isn't that neat? But most importantly, they're all tied into some kind of criminal database so they can detect a predator a mile away. Heck, we should be paying them to guard you. Now that being said, no new system is without its kinks. You're only the second guard to work at that location. The first guy finished his week but complained about conditions. We switched him over to the day shift. So, hey, lucky you, right? Mainly he expressed concern that certain characters seemed to move around at night and even attempted to get into his office. Now, from what we know, that should be impossible. That restaurant should be the safest place on Earth. So while our engineers don't really have an explanation for this, the working theory is that the robots were never given a proper night mode. So when it gets quiet, they think they're in the wrong room. So then they go try to find where the people are, and in this case, that's your office. So our temporary solution is this. There's a music box over by the prize counter, and it's rigged to be wound up remotely. So just every once in a while, switch over to the prize counter video feed and wind it up for a few seconds. It doesn't seem to affect all of the animatronics, but it does affect one of them. And as for the rest of them, we have an even easier solution. You see, there may be a minor glitch in the system, something about the robot seeing you as an endoskeleton without his costume on and wanting to stuff you into a suit. So hey, we've given you an empty Freddy Fazbear head. Problem solved. You can put it on any time and leave it on for as long as you want. Eventually anything that wandered in will wander back out. Something else worth mentioning is kind of the quirky modern design of the building. You may have noticed there are no doors for you to close. But hey, you have lights, and even though your flashlight can run out of power, the building cannot. So don't worry about the place going dark. Well, I think that's it. You should be golden. Check the lights, put on the Freddy head if you need to. Keep the music box wound up. Piece of cake. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Oh, come on! I was excited for those doors! Well, at least I got this flashlight to protect myself, and it's probably a bit more useful than you'd think. The light can not only be flashed down the halls, but it can also flash out the cams? You might think that there's a separate light attached to the cameras, but no, flashing this makes the battery drain. Anyway, if you flash the light on the animatronics in the cams, it will stop them in place for setting their movement timers, only continuing when you turn it off. What's a movement timer, you ask? Looks like somebody didn't watch my first Let's Play. I'll get to it later. You know what? I'm getting ahead of myself talking about the cams. Silly me. In front of me is a hallway, and to the sides I have two vents, which do have a separate light. Using these won't drain the battery, making the cams things a bit more confusing. As I've mentioned, the flashlight only stuns the animatronics, so to get rid of them for semi-good, you gotta put on that spare Freddy Fazbear head that the phone guy mentioned. Alright, let's get onto the cams, because right after 2 a.m., Toy Bonnie starts moving and the music box starts going down. So, let's stop wasting time and go over each of the cameras in detail. I'm sure we'll see the characters along the way. On most nights, the default cam is set on the show stage, which is the starting location of Toy Bonnie, Toy Freddy, and Toy Chica. Obviously, if you flash your light, you can see all the animatronics a bit better, but if they have all left the stage, you actually can't flash it at all, which is okay, because the wall isn't even lit up when they are there. But if it was, you'd see that canonically Chica's Magic Rainbow from FNAF World is there, as seen in official artwork from the Freddy Files and this McFarlane construction set. I swear not all of the segments will be this long. Next up is the game room. This room has a super cool carousel, seemingly taken from the last Freddy's location, as the Foxy's red on it, and you can faintly hear the music box that plays in the prize corner, which aside from having the music box mentioned in the phone call, doesn't really have much going on here. Actually, only 2 animatronics show up here. I guess the phone guy calls it the prize counter. That's a fun fact, right? The Kids Cove is what replaces the Pirates Cove. It's the most remote camera in the game. It literally only 1 animatronic can show up here. But hey, at least you got the grammar of the location wrong. Should be Kids Cove. From the least populated cam to the most, we have the main hall. Well, most of them don't actually show up here physically. Every animatronic logistically needs to pass through here to get to the office. So how many are actually visible here? Like 4. Party room lightning round. Party room 1. Why is this vent just wide open all the time? Party room 2. Either there's a different similar spiel here every single day, or they just decided to never clean it up. Maybe they asked Rockstar Chica to do it. Party room 3. Literally the most boring room in any FNAF game. At least Kids Cove is a funny typo. It's only the 3rd least visited, but the other rooms at least have something special going on. Tier list on screen. And Party room 4. You probably already know this, but these paper plates on the wall are named characters and have magical abilities. They're also named the Paper Pals. Also, these wires vanish when Toy Bonnie enters the room. And finally, the vents. They sure are vents. Did you notice anything weird about that list? Yeah, there's no kitchen in this place. I mean, I can assume that there is one, but for some reason they just decided to not add a camera in there. Now I feel vindicated for not talking about the much superior cams in FNAF 1. Okay, yeah, it's a lot less interesting than talking about the individual cameras, but I guess we need to talk about the actual enemies of the game, huh? Okay, well, I know you know it's not that simple. Let's quickly go over how the animatronics work. Don't worry, it's a lot more simple here, as all the normal characters have the same movement timer of 5 seconds. And by every normal character, I mean all the ones I have on screen right now. Every 5 seconds, a random number is picked from 1 to 20, and it adds 1 to it. If it's less than or equal to the AI level of the character set for that night, then the character moves. If it's lower, or the light is shined on them when it runs out, then they'll stay still. Since I'm sure you're already aware of Custom Night, I'll be showing on screen the AI levels of each character that is active on that night. Starting with the next episode, obviously. Here they are now. At 2 a.m. and 3 a.m., certain characters will get an AI boost, and it will become this. So sure, we know how they attack us, but why exactly do they do it? Well, as the phone guy stated earlier, they're all tapped into a criminal database so they can protect kids and the employees. But say someone tampered with the animatronics and say, I don't know, tricked the system into thinking that all the adults were criminals. Or maybe you just look like a specific criminal Fazbear Entertainment really wants out of the restaurant. Maybe I'll go into this further in a later episode when we have more details, but I just thought it was important to bring this up now. Alright, enough beating around the music box. Did you know? He used to be a real rock star. Toy Bonnie is the real star of the show here, overshadowing any Freddy present. At around 2 a.m., Toy Bonnie will become active and leave the stage first and start making its way to your office. On screen now is the exact route he takes through the building. He cannot teleport like Bonnie in the first game. In general, Toy Bonnie moves very slowly and takes his time when getting through the vents. But when he does eventually move out, you'll see him in the vent blind spot. Throw your mask on and it'll kind of like shimmy in front of you for a while before leaving. At that point, Toy Bonnie will return to the stage and restart his movement pattern. Alright, enough about gameplay. I want to hear about those design details. Toy Bonnie is the only Bonnie in the entire series, to my knowledge, to have a tail and also have eyebrows. Why? What's so special about Toy Bonnie? Okay, well, never mind. He's Toy Bonnie. I mean, he's kind of like the face of this game. Like, I know Withered Freddy is the icon, and Toy Freddy's kind of become the new face of the franchise somehow, but he was like in all the trailers and multiple teaser images, so I don't know. Now the eyebrows are obvious, but the tail is actually extremely hard to see in this game, but when he's in the vent, you can kind of see it poking out right here. But here it is in VR. Yeah, don't feel bad that you never knew about it. I thought this was a new addition to him in Help Wanted when I first saw it. When Toy Bonnie is on stage, he has a guitar. The same one that Classic Bonnie has, actually. He has the guitar on Party Room 3 as well, but as soon as he goes to Party Room 4, he loses it and doesn't get it back until he goes to the stage. And that's it for Toy Bonnie. Okay, one more thing. On the first frame of Toy Bonnie's jump scare, both of his thighs and a bit of his endoskeleton clip through his stomach. Oh, and I just want to mention it. Look, it looks like he's got little socks here. You won't get tired of her voice, will you? Because Toy Chica works basically the exact same as Toy Bonnie, except she doesn't enter the room when you put the mask on, although in the game files it's shown that she was originally going to do so. I guess Scott decided that 2 animatronics using that ridiculously long animation would be way too much. I mean, 1 is way too much, but whatever. She becomes active at 2 a.m. tonight, the same time as Toy Bonnie, but she's always the second to leave the stage and is much faster than him, her route being on screen right now. Weirdly, she's the only toy animatronic that doesn't return back to the stage, instead she goes back to the main hall. Toy Chica has a new version of the cupcake with her, canonically named Toy Cupcake. Unlike Classic Chica, she continues to hold on to it for the entirety of her route, not even dropping it for the jump scare. Although all the classics only have bottom teeth, Toy Chica is the only toy to not have top teeth. Fascinating, I know. When she's in Party Room 4, her endo neck is like weirdly straight, and it kind of weirds me out. Oh my god, look at all the clipping errors! This might be the most cursed shot in the entire game. What, the jump scares? No, come on. Have you seen the clipping errors on Toy Chica's render in Party Room 4? If you played the first game, you probably remember that Freddy only left the stage on the 3rd night. Well, in this game, he leaves around 3 a.m. on the 1st night, and he's always the last animatronic to leave the stage. A lot less special, I know. Get ready for one of his patented jingles. Toy Freddy. Here are his movement patterns. You might notice how much shorter it is. Well, that's because he has a different form of attacking. After he gets to the hallway in front of you, he'll slowly work his way up to you, his mouth opening wider and wider, and eventually he steps inside. Just put the mask on and he'll leave after a few seconds. If you're in the cameras and he enters the office, after a few seconds he'll pull the camera down for you, but you might not want to let that happen as he becomes more aggressive if you have the cameras open. And if you need it even more convincing to stay off the cameras, you can actually attack without even entering the office if you just keep them up for too long. He really hates the cameras, huh? Just like the other toys, he constantly carries his prop around, which is of course a microphone. But we never really see if Classic Freddy is holding his in the first game since he's always in the shadows, so just a fair warning is gonna get a little bit opinionated. For some reason, Scott decided to make him bright orange, which just looks bad. In general, I'm not a huge fan of Toy Freddy, but I guess merch companies are, because he seems to be the new face of merch lately, even being on the packaging for MatPat's merch. He's also the toy animatronic with the most merch. Unfair. More random information that's kind of hard to naturally fit into a script. Look at this poster of Toy Freddy winking. Yeah, it's weird, right? Anyway, when Toy Freddy's in the office and the pesky desk is right in the way, he seems to be bending his legs in the wrong direction to get a closer look at you. Interesting tactic. And for one last thing about Toy Freddy, because I'm getting real sick of him, according to Scott, Toy Freddy is retired. Or at least soon after this game he is. Replying to a post on Steam about him, Scott had this to say: "Few people don't understand Toy Freddy. He's a recluse and private animatronic. He spends his evening curled up and reading a good book. He doesn't like the limelight, so please be respectful of Toy Freddy. He's retired." Was that a joke? Yeah, probably, but he did bring it back for Ultimate Custom Night, so maybe no? Before I get to the last animatronic for the night, I'd like to talk about something called Alert Ambience. You know the FNAF ambience sound that became a meme for a while? Yeah, that one. Well, actually, that has gameplay implications. Yeah, really. So far, when Toy Bonnie or Toy Chica are right outside the respective vent, or if Toy Freddy is in the hallway in front of you, the ambience track will start playing. So from here on out, I'll tell you if and how a character can activate this sound. I literally had no idea this meant something until I started researching for this Let's Play, and I thought you'd all like to know about it. The others are like animals, but he is very aware. The puppet. Which is why he's the most complicated character in the game. Well, of course we know them as the puppet now, but back then a lot of people, and FNAF World, called them the Marionette. So this statement is basically wrong. The puppet is way more consistently called the Marionette, and the only games that really call him the puppet are FNAF 3 and Pizzeria Simulator. Basically every time after that, even in merch, he's called the Marionette. Now, I'm not really interested in re-recording this entire segment to just call him the Marionette, so just ignore it and pretend I'm saying the right name. Thank you. But did you know that the game files actually refer to the puppet as the puppet, obviously, sock puppet, and even phantom at different points? Before I explain the confusing gameplay stuff, let's go over some stupid fun facts. When they jump scare you, the puppet jumps at you from the hallway, but if you aren't facing the hall, it looks a little weird. The song that plays from the puppet's music box is an 1876 song called My Grandfather's Clock by Henry Clay Work, and when they leave the box, it plays Pop Goes the Weasel for obvious reasons. Speaking of the puppet leaving the box, after they leave can 11, the static seems to become a little less harsh, which is probably just a mistake. Starting at 2 AM, right after the phone guy mentions it, the music box on cam 11 will slowly start unwinding. When it gets to one section of the counter left, an orange warning symbol will flash, and when it runs out, you'll get a red one. When the music box runs out completely, you actually aren't fully screwed. If you flash the light and they're still coming out of the box, you're allowed to wind up the box again, getting a second chance. You want to know exactly how all this works? No. Well, shut up! Just like the movement timer that all the characters have, the box has its own counter that goes up to 2,000. And every 0.05 seconds, a number is subtracted from it depending on the night you are currently playing, which the guide for is on screen right now. When you're winding the box, the counter increases by 5 every 0.01 seconds, no matter the night. Now this is where it gets interesting. If the counter is less than 300 and the player is winding it, it'll immediately be set to 300. Pretty forgiving, actually. If you miss all 3 of these chances, the puppet will begin their attack phase. Interestingly enough, they actually have their own movement pattern, which of course is on screen right now. They are invisible on the cameras, but if you know the pattern, you can still flash the light on them to stop them in place, which doesn't seem intentional. Just like a regular animatronic, a random number between 0 and 20 is chosen, and if it's equal to or lower to the puppet's AI level, they will move to the next location. Just like everyone else, they have their own AI for each night, and it's on screen right now, but I will also be showing this again later when I talk about the other nights. Once they are finished moving and finally get to your office, they will jump scare you. You can't do anything about it. Still with me? I hope you got all that because we're moving on now. Before I move on to the last topic of the day, I'd like to discuss the toys for a moment. A lot of FNAF fans like to say that they aren't scary because they look kind of friendly on the stage, which Scott has also thought about, as stated in the Dawko interview. I want to talk about how he managed to take these cute characters and actually make them pretty freaky. Toy Bonnie's irises function like humans, meaning that they can change sizes. At some point, they are large and friendly, but other times, like when he's in your office, they are small and really unsettling. Toy Chica simply just loses her beak and eyes, which reveals the strangely sharp endoskeleton teeth. Makes you wonder where she keeps those and how she has better control of her cupcake plate. And Toy Freddy just copies her and loses his eyes. Not too interesting, but he is Toy Freddy after all. Now that I fanboyed about the toys for too long, let's talk about dying. When you get jumpscared by any animatronic, there's a 10% chance you'll be sent to play one of these 4 Atari-style minigames that are filled with red static. I'm only going to cover one of these today, as this video is already way too long. In Foxy Go Go Go, you play as Foxy with the goal of running from Pirate's Cove to the party room to greet the 5 kids waiting there. After the second time around, a strange smiling purple man will be standing next to the cove. When you go to the kids, they all seem to be dead, gray and still. The game ends with Foxy jump scaring you, bringing you back to the main menu. This game is so lacking in fun facts to talk about that all I have is this Lego version of Foxy from this game that, yes, is real merchandise. I'll talk more about this game and what it means at a different time. Now we can finally get to the game, if there's even any time left to play it. Take it away, me. Yeah, I had no time at all. I talked for 20 minutes, and I still somehow expected to have more footage left when the phone guy talks for like 2 hours in game. Well, I had to compromise, and all the footage that was playing while I was talking was pre-recorded footage, as you could have saw by the giant annoying text on the top of the screen that I recorded in a custom night. That's why it was a lot more fast, and there was some strange figure in the hallway. I think that this video would just not be complete. Like, it wouldn't be a new FNAF series if I didn't talk at all, and it was just, you know, all the scripted stuff. It just wouldn't, like, it wouldn't be what I want to do in this series. I want to do more. I like these live sections. They're very fun. And it lets me talk about things that I can't really fit into a script like those ones, because it's a little weird to... I mean, I did a lot in this one where I just started randomly talking about my opinions on Toy Freddy and how stupid he looks. But, you know, those are more for factual stuff, and, you know, I want to be able to talk about stupid stuff like rumors and my own opinion and personal experience with these characters. That being said, I don't really know what to say about this gameplay right now. There actually isn't that much time left. We're already at 4 a.m. I'm sure that the later nights will give us a lot more time to work with, but for now, well, we're about to get attacked by Toy Bonnie, so strap in for that one. Both Toy Bonnie and Toy Chica are in the vents, so that's pretty neat. Oh yeah, there's me trying to flash on the show stage. It just won't let you. It makes the sound that the light is flashing, but it just won't let you at all. I want to apologize right away and say I'm sorry that most of this Let's Plays footage is going to just be of the prize corner cam, because unfortunately the problem with this game is that you basically always have to be on the prize corner cam. In the first couple nights, that you get a little bit of leeway and you can look around a little bit. But on later nights, there's no way you're going to be able to leave that camera. Which sucks, because this game does have some of the best renders in the entire series. But, you know, I have been showing those off, and I will continue to show them off as I go throughout the episodes. It's really funny that the animatronics are not coming out of the vents. Well, they are now, but I find that kind of funny. And that's honestly, it's a great showcase of the mechanics of this game. And it lets you see how the flashlight works, because I've never really paid attention to something like that. But yeah, the phone guy is completely right. If you shine the light in the toy animatronics' eyes, or any of the animatronics' eyes, they basically stop in place. Toy Chica's been in that vent for like an hour in game right now, because I keep wanting to go check on her, because, you know, I want to make the footage a little bit interesting. So that's pretty cool. Alright, that was a pretty easy first day. I'm sure it'll stay right at that difficulty for the rest of the week. And I'm sure there will only be 4 characters total. And not 11. Well, anyway, I'll see you in the next episode, where I'll probably be in a different time. See you guys then. Oh my god. Dude, there's so much time left. Dude, there's so much time. Oh my god, dude. There's so much time. Oh my god.